Hello and welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben and we're bringing you the best all-time AFL draft of players from 1990 up until the common era. Let us know how you've gone so far. If you have missed it, please go back and check out Part A and Part B. But Part C is kicking off right now. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Here we go.
Awesome. All right, so that means it's me for two. Okay, I can't let this guy hang around. This guy actually played his entire career in the 90s. Started at the Hawks. Pretty sure he won a premiership at Hawthorn and then went to Adelaide and absolutely changed the game for them. We talk about how important McLeod was in their premiership time, but this guy is one of the – if we have any fans out there watching who are in their 40s and 50s, they'll talk about this guy as one of the best footballers they've ever seen, and that's Darren Jarman.
Nice. Another Adelaide. You're killing it. You're killing Geordie over here.
I am.
He did cross my mind.
Are we allowed to start trading players, boys?
No, he can sit on the bench for now because I'm actually going to pick a midfielder as my next pick. And this guy, also a South Australian superstar, played 375 games for Carlton. Him and Diesel. It's like the 90s version of Pendleton Swan, and that's Craig Bradley. So he can go into my centre line. What do I need now?
Alrighty, it's back to me, isn't it? All right, I need. How are you guys for wingers? Let's check. Everyone's wingers. I probably don't need one, and you guys probably aren't going to pick my one, so I'm going to pick another mid. I think. Yeah, I'm going to mid and defender. Actually, before he goes, because he probably is, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him on the field because why not? I've got not enough intercepting defenders. I'm going to take Tom Stewart in my last back pocket spot.
I like that, mate. I like that. This is where it does get really interesting because it's like, there's so many extra players that are still out there that I'd be happy to get in my team.
Yeah, I know, right? I think maybe I wish I was a bit more maybe stringent or diligent early on. Because I've still got quite a lot of people I wouldn't mind in my team, to be honest. But we don't even have many positions.
Of course,
left.
No, yeah, we're all.
It's funny because you could have
Can we add a sub? Can we add a super sub?
We could have drawn this out to like 6 people, and it's like my team would still be good. But
Who's the most subbed player? Like, there is a guy that's like been the sub the most, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Who was that?
But they should name that after him, like the vest after him.
Whose turn is it, by the way?
Is it me now, or is it?
Yeah, I think
who just went there.
I just picked Stuart, right? So
yeah, so it must be Benny Boy.
Back to Benny Boy. Yep.
Can I please? I got to make somebody happy. He is a big boy, big midfielder playing for the old faithful Blues. Bit of look at me. Can I go Kudafides on the bench, please?
Oh,
wow! How dead set? How has he got that long? And you know what? My old man will watch this, and he will literally strangle me. He's got his guitar room, and the only sporting thing he has in there is like Kudafides doll, Kudafides stuff. Like, I grew up with everything was Kuda this, Kuda that. That is an absolute the steal of the draft. That guy was an absolute superstar.
The problem was his injuries, right? Like, every time he was just like he'd have like this great patch of games where he'd go crazy and then he'd get injured, and then he'd have this great patch. Like, he was an all-star, but just got injured so many times. I mean, there's a sub rule, so
he still played 200. Still played 278 games.
Yeah.
Just
is this George back to back?
That's an amazing pick.
Yep. Oh, thanks, Swizz.
Oh, I'm wrapped about that. I'm really annoyed that I completely forgot about him.
My pick, I'll go back pocket Ben Hart.
Good.
Yeah, good pick.
Nice. Great pick.
And I'll go as my 7th defender on the bench. I'll go Paul Roos.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
He
Yeah,
did
I actually
play.
nearly went for Ruse,
Yeah.
but then I was looking at, I was like, I've got way too many tall targets already. Yet I threw in Cooter.
Nice. Well done.
Good pick.
All right.
That's not you.
Oh, no. Okay. Fine.
Comes back to me.
Be like
I
that.
don't need it.
Then it goes to you.
Alright.
Oh, there's a couple I'm tossing up between here. I'd like to put it out for vote. Okay, so what do I need? I need 2 bench, a forward pocket, back pocket, basically. Let me just have a quick look. He's gone. All right, so what I might do is I just need to check the height of somebody. Hang on. Well, I need to check on the height of somebody just because my team is pretty well stacked with height. So I'm a little bit
There'll be people
concerned.
watching this be like, oh my God, this player's still here. How have you not taken this player? That's the amazing thing
Oh,
about
for
it.
sure. That's definitely going to
Amazing
happen.
thing about it.
And I'm actually surprised because I thought it would be real thin, and I'm surprised on how many good players are still actually out here.
Yeah.
That's the concerning part. So now I'm like, why did I take this person when there's like
Draw it
3
out a
more
bit,
that I would
'cause I gotta-
actually like to take? You know. All right, let's. The other options, I'll just take a different position, which might actually help me. Dun 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 dun. All right. I will go. Let's just mix it up a little bit. And I will lock in a Harry Taylor in defense, please.
Yeah,
Back
he
pocket.
was on my list. Definitely on my list.
It's a hard one. There's a couple others there.
Yeah.
I just know, like a premiership player, Harry Taylor can do a roll for me. He can peel off. He can
Yeah,
get a ground ball.
100%.
So you're taking him
Harry Taylor.
at
pocket.
back pocket. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got the 3 bigs, so it's like you got to kind of get there anyway.
Yeah.
I expect that. It's a decent pick. Like he's a 3-time premiership guy, held the premiership defense together. He's fine. He's an absolute fine pick. Awesome. All right. So who's next? Is it back to me? Is it?
It is.
It's back to you and Swizz, I think.
Yes.
All right. Ugh. That wing spot's killing me, but I might just leave it. I think I can take anyone at the wing. All right. I'm going to take another mid because I need someone else. I've got the forward comes on. I need a mid. So I guess so. We're not going a second ruck, right? We're not. That's not what we're doing.
You don't have to.
You throw your
Sorry,
your tall mid or your key forward in the ruck. You make him play there.
Yeah, it's all good. Buckley's playing ruck. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't really need to. So this guy, in my opinion, was I don't know. I don't think he's underrated. He just had a career that was absolutely insane, and like he went through a period. Unfortunately, he didn't win a premiership, but I think he was the heart and soul of their team when he did, and that's going to be Lenny Hayes.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Another one I was thinking about. Just heart and soul player. Did it all. Part of that. They, as you said, they didn't have the premiership success, but St Kilda were up the top of the ladder for a long period there. And that midfield, Goddard and Hayes and a couple others that we haven't mentioned, just brilliant team. All right, so I'm up for 2. This is tough. I need a forward, a ruck, a backman, and a bench player. Damn, I wish Kuda got through one more. All right, I'm gonna go a forward. I think this guy kicked 182 centimeters. Started, I think, maybe as a bit of a midfielder. Went and played small forward. Kicked about 550 goals, maybe a bit more than that, for the Western Bulldogs. So yeah, champion guy, the smiling assassin, Brad Johnson.
Oh, great pick. Brad Johnson was on my list. I'd already picked my forwards. I couldn't take another like smallish forward. Is he one of the best, say, smalls from the square? Is he that mold? Is he the best? He'd be right up there.
If you kind of think like he's the opposite in sort of his attitude than Toby Green, but Toby does the same thing, that small forward who can lead up and do it all. And Brad Johnson was probably the original guy like that.
I looked at him.
Can play tall, can play small.
Growing up watching him, I thought he was a key forward. Then I realized he's like 180 or something.
Yeah, 182.
You're like, I could
That's the way he played.
I saw this great documentary in his last year at the Dogs, and he had such bad Achilles injuries that he had to get electrolysis on his Achilles before every single game, which I don't know if you guys have ever got electrolysis. It hurts. It is insane, like the pain. Just to get up to play, he had to get that before the game. So it basically would numb his Achilles so he could play. And he would just continue to do it. Like, how many games did he play? Like, it would be high 300s, right? Like, insane. Like, that commitment, you just don't find that. Like, that is not a natural thing. And that's what's just so brilliant about who he is as a player. So I love Brad Johnson. Big raps on him.
Yeah.
So
and it's
Swizz,
me again here.
Oh, again?
No, I was happy with feeling that because I was still trying to work out which.
Oh, mate, I can talk. Hey, like, give me underwater, I'll still talk.
Yeah, same. You and I, mate. This is.
I'm surprised no one's gone like Fev or anything either, eh?
Well, it's because we took something out, and Fev deserves to be taken.
And he's a little bit further down, but
I don't even know if Fev's all time. Hey, like, there's so many big full forwards that are
that's
just
the
better.
problem in this period. And there's a couple other ones like could definitely mention.
Go Treaders as well.
Yeah, Treadray was on my list. Like, if I couldn't get one of the the guys I wanted,
you can even go back in the 90s, say like Horst Longmire. There was so many good forwards, but going Stephen Kernahan, just these champions. And I think the problem is we've got so many other good key forwards. It's just
I mean, these four teams are stacked. Like, let's be completely honest. So,
well, even the early 90s Carlton teams were stacked. Like, it's just crazy.
I really probably need that third key defender.
Just go Kernahan.
So maybe
Kernahan.
So I might put Lepage into my back pocket.
Whoa.
And I'm gonna.
Oh, you're gonna move someone? Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna move Lepage into my back pocket.
Yep.
And I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take the West Coast champion through the 2000s, Darren Glass.
Oh, Glass,
nice.
Damn, yeah.
It's great lockdown big.
Yeah, I was just thinking Glassy. I had him highlighted.
Nice.
Underrated.
Like, if you take him, Ben, I'm taking Harry, and the other way around. Like, they'll both.
Yeah, I actually had Glass.
They're both on my list there going, do I want the more interceptor or do I want the guy who's just going to play lockdown?
Well, that's why I took Michael. It's just like, I don't necessarily need the interceptor. I need the guy that's got I need the like.
You know what's funny?
He
wouldn't have got back to you, Swizz.
Yeah.
Because I had him. He was going on the bench, so I could then throw him in the pocket and then Fletcher further up the ground if I need to. I actually highlighted him a different color to say, don't miss this guy on the way through.
Nice big
good gear. That's you now, Chris, yeah?
All right. Now, this is a question because I didn't watch a lot of West Coast. I know how good he was. And I want to get someone on my wing. I think he deserves to be on this list. I'm just not sure if he's a winger, a pure winger. And I kind of need one because I've got Brent Harvey sort of cheating on the other side. Daniel Kerr, guys, does he qualify as...
Yeah, I guess you could. He was more inside mid. The West Coast probably actually have a better winger than that back in the day, but there's...
Gaff.
Well,
like,
so that's my backup. Shush.
that's the video. But I can live with that. He was probably more inside, and he deserves to be talked about because his sister is getting all the applause right now, rightly so, because she is an
Australia's
absolute
best soccer
superstar.
player, right?
Maybe Australia's best. Not even female sports person, but you can nearly say best sports person at the moment. But yeah, Daniel Kerr back in the day, Judd, Cousins, Kerr.
That trio, and so
that trio,
obviously the two.
But I can live with that idea that you
are we good with Kerr and the wing guys?
Of that, but he's more inside. But I can live with that unless you put him in the forward line. Not the forward line. The on your bench, and you potentially take somebody else afterwards. But it's up to you, mate.
No, look,
I can live with that.
I think if he's more inside,
fair.
I need a designated winger. I'll take Gaff on the wing.
What?
Take Kerr. No, mate, Kerr deserves to go. Kerr deserves to go.
I'll take Kerr if you'll let me have him.
Yeah.
Of
Kerr
course.
deserves to go more than Gaff.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Gaff there, but Kerr deserves.
George, apparently I've been overruled, and I'm taking down.
So Kerr. Does Wayne. Wayne deserves. Can I please have?
And then we can talk more about his sister as well.
Sure. So who's next on the?
It's on me. Can I get the Farmer boy, please? Jeff Farmer, forward pocket.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Oh, sorry.
I need a little bit of X factor. Kicks a stack of goals.
Highlights really insane.
Probably should have changed that up. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
You done now?
Okay, I'm taking.
Yeah. Right, you go. Sorry.
I need some pace in the forward line, and I think the best left is 2-time All Australian, maybe 3 or 2. I'll take Charlie Cameron.
Oh, I was gonna say if he gets to me, I'm done.
I need pace. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kind of stalled. I was like, I should have just.
I was like, I didn't let you say. I didn't want to let you.
I know you kind of cut in. I was like, you know what? That's my death. It's fine.
The Adelaide champion, Charlie
Palmer's good.
Honestly, it could end when his career ends, and he is the best small forward of all time. It could go that way. The matchups against he just beats everyone. Like Isaac Quaynor going into that matchup 2 weeks ago was arguably the best small defender in the league, and Charlie Cameron made him look like Aldi Isaac Quaynor. Like it was ridiculous. Like I love Charlie Cameron. I'm a huge on him. I'm so huge on him. So yeah. Anyway, absolutely amazing pick, and I think you've got.
He's on my bench. Yeah. And then I've got. I need to take a coach and key defender. Look, I'm looking at your forward lines, and I'm seeing Dunstall and Ablett Senior in the same forward line. So I need a bit of Carey and Lockett. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'll take Stephen May.
Nice. He's some size. I like it.
He was arguably the best defender in the league maybe 2 years ago. You could make a case. So maybe he can. You guys, your key forwards can kick 5 10. Instead of 10.
Yeah, the average was 7. I'll take it if they go 4. Nice. I love it. Back to you, Benny.
Yeah, it is. Just starting to get a little bit left of field, I think, at this point. So I'm just having a quick squiz. It's not a bad option. Oh, anyone want to pick Kane Corns?
No one needs a lockdown mid.
Might not be the worst idea having a tagger.
Yeah.
There's too many guns to cancel out.
I mean, Ben, what's your midfield like? Blacks, you've got Selwood. Yeah, if you need a tag, you just got Selwood there.
Yeah, just to run with. I'm probably going a little bit left of field, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I hated him for so long. And Chris, you can probably guess. No, I don't need another tall. I don't need another tall.
Yes, Aaron Hall it is. Aaron Hall. Thank you.
Oh, I hate him too. Or Barry Hall. Can we go Barry Hall? So I don't like this guy, and he plays for Chris's team. But I swear to God, if I've got a bit of Ackermanis, we might not be the favourites, but I reckon on our day we can have absolute flair. And can I have Alan Didak on the bench, please?
Oh, wow. I was actually wondering if he would go. Well done.
I want some flair. I want a 70-meter talk from the boundary. I need a bit of that X factor, a bit of that mongrel.
I'll tell you
I
what,
don't like him.
Everyone hated Collingwood.
I don't like him, but I feel like I could use him.
Story, George, in Adelaide. So one night when Pies were playing, it might have been right in front of him. I'm not sure. The Pies came off a win, and they had to travel in the morning, and they got told, obviously everyone go back to the rooms, blah blah. And like 5 minutes later, Didak's ordering a cab to go out, and we literally like, dude, obviously in those 2000s, it was just no rules at all. Like, really, no one got caught doing anything. But yeah, he was just on it all night apparently, and came back to barely made the bus back. I think made it by 30 seconds, and then they were all like, "Where you been?" He's like, "Oh, I just got lost," So he just rocked up, completely smashed, directly from a club at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport. So, well done, Alan Didak. Does that mean it's my turn? Is it? And this is my last player pick, eh? All right. So, I was going to pick a
player, or you've got a coach, and then you've got to whip around. You get one more pick after that.
I sort of don't have a sort of lockdown small defender, and I don't think many people do, though, to be completely honest. Wanganeen, Ben Archer's probably the best, I'd say. Oh, actually, Ben Hart is probably the best. I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to put in this. I think I want someone that's going to. Okay, I'm going to go in, and probably no one's going to pick him, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm going to go with a guy who has played over 300 games. He played for 2 clubs. He's won a premiership. He actually is one of the highest. He leads. I think he's top 5 for kicks all time. He's also top 5 for uncontested possessions all time. He's played in the wing. He plays in the back pocket. He's played on halfback flank. His name is Heater Shaw.
Yeah,
and
nice.
He's also called the Librarian.
Yeah, actually, can we? No, it's not going to sit on the screen. Can we? Yes. You prick.
No, is that what you wanted?
I was just looking through all his stats as well.
It's ridiculous, hey. You look through
I'm going, and once you said over 300 games, I'm like, oh, I hate. Because I was going to give this whole and fellow Supercoach panelist.
He's actually he's also a very good small defender. He's actually one of the better small defenders of all time. He'll never say that to your face. He always thinks of himself as a spud. He's a little bit of that sort of way. But I can't believe when I looked into the actual statistics of Shaw's career, he leads in so many categories. Could you imagine? Honestly, could you imagine if the run out kick rule was a thing? Because back in his day as a player, when you run out of the square, it's automatically a possession. Because he was probably at the time the Jake Lloyd of the era, right, where he would chip to himself and then run and kick the ball long. I would just love to see how many more possessions would be on that because of that stat. That was an incredible feat. I loved Heath Shaw as a player growing up. I thought he was one of the best. When he got traded out of Collingwood, I was beside myself. I just didn't understand what was happening. And obviously, so Buckley at that time was basically just trying to break up the Rat Pack, try and focus on serious football, blah, blah. And I think trading Heath Shaw, I don't think that was the right move personally, but here we are, picking him in an all-time squad, and Heater Shaw, I love you, buddy. Well done. And he can play wing, so he's sort of a backup winger as well.
Fantastic. Love it. There is still so many good players. Still, but I do need a ruck. I do have goods there, but I need actually a proper ruck against you guys. So I'll take the Sandy Lands man.
Yeah, I literally started typing it before you actually. Yeah. I was all right, there's the big 4.
He's still there. He's one of the big main guys. Might even be the second best ruck of this modern era. He's 211 centimeters and all 110 Ks, and him and Cox's battles over those years. Yeah, champion player.
Nice, well done.
And now for my last pick. So this is where it does get interesting. Kind of like, what do I really need? Like, I've got everything there. So I've got Jarman and Rashudo that can come off the bench. Rashudo and Jarman both can go forward. Anything, I probably just need a little bit defense.
Yeah,
some help.
I've tried to stick to say two mids, a forward and a defender on the bench. That's what I've tried to sort of stick with.
This is difficult. It's kind of like which way do you go here? There was actually a midfielder that I wanted to take, but this is tough.
You know what's funny about? So I'll just cut in there, mate. Feel free to cut back in when you've made your pick. But I've just had a look at my team, and I went into this draft thinking I would draft all these guys that were stars in the 90s, and I ended up drafting all these guys that were stars in like the late 2000s. Completely different, because like all of the 90s like big rigs all got picked real early, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just sort of float with the times. So yeah, I'm just surprised about my squad.
It's sort of who's there available. Like a few times I didn't take as many modern, but they were sort of, I was balancing it all. They were like next to my list, and somebody ends up taking them, and you're like, okay, back to the drawing board. Who's next on there? And it just, and maybe just because obviously you and I are that little bit older, so we do know some of these old, these players a bit better throughout the 90s. This is a tough decision because you can go one of two ways here. But I do think I am going to go I think I'm going to go a defender. Just a question of which one. And I'm looking at, because there's been some really good premiership sides, and they've had some really good defenders in there. All right, I'm going to take this one from Geelong, just because he was a bit of a favourite for me. I'm going to take Andrew Mackie.
Nice. Good old Mackie. He was so reliable.
Somebody comes on, does his job every week.
Yeah,
could push off the ground, but that Geelong team was that they three flags, four in space of about.
When this is all
7 years
over,
there.
and we won't dissect this over the actual podcast, but it'll be interesting to see. Like, there has been a lot of Geelong players from that 07 to 2011 run.
Yeah,
and I think with good reason. But wow, that team was just phenomenal, right?
Oh, 100%.
Hey boys, I'm suggesting a bit of a shake-up here where you can readjust your team and make one change after you're done.
Ooh.
If you want.
Or do you want
majority vote?
And a sub, obviously, but a sub, and then then if you're looking at your team going, oh, this player could be, they could go from back flank into say forward flank, and then you go and adjust your team. I think we should be allowed one correction once we're done.
I don't know what I'd do. I like my team.
I'm actually pretty happy with
I'm happy with mine, but I'm happy if you want to do that.
I mean, if you want to do it, Ben, because your team's shit, I get it. If you really want to add a sub, you can, just to make it modern day footy, but I'm pretty happy.
I will take, if I can, Tony Liberatore onto my bench, please, and just wipe out your Ablets and those guys.
Wow. Tony over Tom.
Yeah, yep. Tony Liberatore.
Interesting.
The best tagger in history.
I like it. I don't mind it. I'm just saying. It was an interesting. I actually think Tom's a better player, personally. But who am I to say that?
Libba did win a Brownlow.
Yeah.
So did Tony.
No, he's saying
what I'm talking about.
He's talking about Tony.
Oh, okay, right. I was like,
no. So my argument is this.
Gotcha.
So Tom Liberatore averages the second most clearances of any player in modern day football. So he's obviously He's the second. So what that says to me, he's the second best clearance player of all time. Tom Liberatore right now. Did you know that?
Okay.
But then a lot of these stats is because they did play more games now than they did sort of back then. But yeah, no, you are right.
And it's a completely
impressive.
different game, right? There's more stoppages. Like, it's a complete stoppage game now. Like, so a lot of the midfielders of old aren't going to be able to compete with guys like Scott Pendlebury, for example.
There was just a defender that I thought about, but
so we're adding a sub to this, are we?
If you really want to, we can loop back around.
Are you happy with that, George?
Yeah. We're gonna pick 2 anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So are we all going to say that the sub's going to be a midfielder? Because, like, let's be honest, like, there's about 100 mids that we've probably missed.
I was debating between. I had the option.
Let's just do that. Do whatever you want.
Well, I could just do the Brisbane thing and just take it and put a Ruckman in, as they always do.
It's going to be fought. All right.
Yeah,
so
my guy's actually played sub.
Whose shot is it? Is it me? Is it my turn? I think it's mine, isn't it?
No, it's George. George has.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't George have?
Oh, yeah, okay. George. So George has back to back. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So my final 2 will be my sub will be Clayton Oliver, and my coach will be. Picking between 2 here. I'll go Kevin Sheedy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had 2 to pick from. I respect that.
Yeah. For some reason, you don't have a coach or a sub there, Chris, but you might have to have 2 picks in a moment.
Yeah, it's all right. I think I missed a pick. But, like, this is what I mean. This would stuff me up early. Like, I think I actually missed a pick, but, like, whatever. Is it my pick now then?
That's on me.
That's back to
Ben.
Ben.
Then you can have 2 in a row, and then I'll finish off.
Can I go Mark McVeigh as sub, please?
Oh, the Anzac Day medalist, Mark McVeigh. So
someone's a bit versatile.
I'm going to pick a mid because I think that this guy, I can't believe he actually lasted this entire section. He averages the most clearances in the modern era. And if you didn't know who that was, his name's Lachie Neale.
That's a good one. Yep. Didn't even think about him.
And then Chris,
I thought about it.
You can have another pick for your coach.
Oh, well, I'm going to go Dimmer.
I feel like there was still 2 other coaches there that you could have taken.
Probably, but
Mick Moldhouse and Bomber Thompson.
I wouldn't. Yeah,
mentioned, but
Jock McHale. I would have. No. He's obviously not even the 90s. No. Personally, I think that, and you could take it. Paul Roos. He's been fantastic for Sydney. And then when he went to
Roos was already taken. Oh, coaching wise,
yeah, sorry, coach.
Yeah. But he's already taken. You can't play and coach.
Yeah.
Can't you?
All right.
No, I just thought.
Well, no one went Warwick Kappa, boys. No one went the Kappa.
I've got the last pick here from my sub, and it's kind of debating between sort of 3 Cats players. I could go old school with Gary Hocking, who I really liked. I was going to actually think as a wingman, Chris Mainwaring from West Coast and Nicky Winmar both deserve to be mentioned. Geelong also have, I was thinking maybe do I go the tagger? Cameron Ling's career is actually really good.
Arguably the best tagger of all time. He's right alongside
and the captain in there. And then there's the other one was, do I go a ruck forward? And I don't know if I've got a soft spot for him just because he played for Richmond, but Brad Oddens was the Geelong Premiership ruckman for a lot of years there. But I am going to go the tagger, and I think I'm going to go Cameron. So let's lock.
Nice. Now, can we open up options to change?
No. What do you want to do? You want to change one player from
just
the
one
team?
Player. Yeah, just one player.
Oh, you just really want to change one player? Okay, go for
just
it.
One
Who are you
player.
changing?
We're removing someone.
No, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. Can I please get rid of Farmer, please, and then put Cyril in the forward pocket?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to I'm going to think optimistically here. A guy that was in his peak to be able to run through. Swanee can then go forward pocket. Everyone can run up. Ackermanis can go up. And I would
So
like
you
to
want to
put
put
a Dale
Dane
Thomas.
Swan on the Dale
Yeah,
Thomas on the
Daisy.
wing. What?
Dale Thomas, please.
In your forward line.
Yeah, I think that's where he's
Yeah.
putting him.
Okay. Look, I think he's. So there was
Collingwood days.
So there was a point in time when he had this amazing, I think it was maybe 6 or 8 game stretch where the Ross Lyon called him the best player in the competition, and he wasn't wrong. Like his work rate was ridiculous 2 ways. Then he got injured. I'm not sure what happened.
Ankle, wasn't it? I think ankle.
He came back like 3 weeks later and was never the same player. And that was 2011 when like Collingwood were rolling. Like Collingwood's 2011 team was arguably a match of the best team that I've ever seen. And they just could not, for whatever reason, get it done against Geelong. So they lost 3 total games that year. All 3 games were against Geelong, which was it's just ridiculous. So they lost 2 home and away games and the grand final against Geelong. They just couldn't beat Geelong. They got out-coached. They got outplayed. But they were just blowing every other team off the map. And, Dale Thomas is a big part of that. So, I love Dale Thomas.
Yeah, like you had Luke Ball back then. And it was funny because as you mentioned about being best player in the comp, I actually considered taking Nathan Brown for that.
Yeah.
There was a 7-week period there at Richmond, which was so exciting being a Richmond supporter, where it might have even been 9. I think he got injured around 9 or 10 with one of the worst injuries you'll ever see in football.
Broke his leg, right? Yeah.
But at that point, he was just taking the mickey. He crossed over from the Dogs and just and I know they all take the mickey out of him on the Sunday Footy Show, and he brings it up and stuff, but he legitimately was, like Daisy, for a period of time, he was the best player in the competition, and then breaks the leg, and like Daisy, you just don't come back from it. So, but that's footy. We see that with a lot of players. That
Yeah. Guys, take a quick squiz over your team just in case you want to change one. But I'm fine. I'm fine.
Good. So I'll just.
Can I make another change then? Can I get Dale Thomas out on my side for? No, I'm kidding.
I'll read mine out. So
that's right. Hang on, let me just share the screen then, and we might go open to Chris's. There we go.
So you want me to go through it, or you're just going to show it on screen?
Yeah, I'll have it up here. Swizz can read his own side.
All right.
You should be able to see it on screen.
Yeah, we'll do. So so my backline there is Wayne Ganine, former Brownlow medalist for Essendon, and also Port Adelaide Premiership player. Darren Class, we talked about lockdown defender. Lepage, who was a Premiership defender 3 times for the Brisbane Lions, could also go forward. Burgoyne still says it all, 400 odd games. Jakovic, him and his battles with Gary. If nobody's actually seen that, it's definitely worth watching. And Nathan Lappin, who could play wing and half back flank, one of that quartet of players there. Even like with Ashcroft, Luke Power, they just had such an amazing team, the Lions. Centre line, Craig Bradley, 375 games in AFL, and also before that played about 100 games and won a McGarry medal over there in the Stanford. So, and then with Peter Material Long, 2 of the best wingers of all time. There on the wings, Sander Lance is my ruckman, the beast from Fremantle, former Brownlow medalist Robert Harvey, and also 2-time Brownlow medalist Diesel Williams there for the Blues. Forward line, the smiling assassin Brad Johnson, who kicked over 500 goals, laid over 500 tackles. Wayne Carey speaks for itself, probably one of the, if not one of the best players of all time, carried North to 2 premierships. Nick Riewoldt. If it wasn't for Wayne Carey, we'd be talking about Nick Riewoldt as one of the greatest centre-half forwards of all time. Eddie Betts and Stevie Milne, both absolute champions, very different small forwards, but kicked a ton of goals between them. And then Plugger, the greatest goal kicker of all time, they're at full forward. It'd be amazing if Plugger hadn't got suspended as many times as he did to see how many goals he could have potentially ended up with. Because there was periods, so I think there was the season in, was it 91, where he only played like 11 games and kicked 77 goals. Like just stupid stats. And then on the interchange bench, Adam Goods, we've talked about him. He arguably one of the best players of the modern era, especially from the 2000s onwards, could play any position. Risciuto, but also a former Brownlow medalist. Darren Jarman, just a champion, carried Adelaide to premierships and also won one down at Hawthorn before that. And Andrew Mackie is reliable as you can get as a defender for Geelong during 3 of their premierships. Clarko's the coach, and Lingy probably the best tagger of the modern era, and also Geelong premiership captain. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that lineup.
Sweet. Well, I'm not going to go through that much detail because that was a lot of detail. I'm just going to say that my team's better, and here's why. Pavlich, Mel, Michael, and Stewart running the fullback line. Pavlich obviously can swing forward if needed, which is part of the benefit of having a Pavlich there. Hodge, Rance, and Goddard in arguably the best halfback line you've ever seen. The wings have gone a little bit unconventional. So I've got Brent Harvey, I've got Michael Voss at centre, and Daniel Kerr on the other wing. Through the midfield, with rounding out the best midfield that you'll ever see, Todd Goldstein, Gary Ablett Jr., the greatest player of all time. And if in 10 years you're watching this video, you should know that Gary Ablett Jr. was the best player of all time, and Nathan Buckley on the other side. The forwards, Dustin Martin, the best big game player of all time, Tom Hawkins and Jack Rewalt, who both have over 700 goals each. Peter Dacos, the best small forward ever created by a man himself. Matty Lloyd, phenomenal player, and Toby Green, the agitator in the other forward pocket. On the interchange bench, Scott Pendlebury, the LeBron James of midfielders, Paul Chapman, Lenny Hayes, and Heather Shaw. Coach is Dimmer, and the sub here is Lockie Neal, the greatest clearance player of all time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, look, both of you boys are long-winded. No wonder you're podcasters. So in the defensive line for me, I got Harry Taylor, sort of get up, get down. I got Savani, so the best fullback, man of the century. Fletcher as well can go
kicked
float.
8 goals in the game once. I forget. He is actually a really good full forward. But yeah, team.
Well, you forget this is my team, and you forget to hold your tongue.
I'm just complimenting you. Just complimenting you, Ben.
Fletcher, so another sort of Sicily type, I reckon he'll get up and intercept, can actually get up the ground as well. Boot it from 60, they say. I'm looking for long range penetration because unlike Chris, I have long range to penetrate. The Glenn Archer on the halfback flank, Matty Scarlett's obviously, we're looking at all premiership players here, ladies and gentlemen. You look at the caliber, you're going for experience, you're going for big time players. Scarlett, Bartel. On the wing, I got Crawford, so some real good experience there. So again, Hawthorn, Geelong, and the Lions is pretty much where it's at. Selwood in the middle, West. Basically, I think Chris put him on the east side of my team, but hey, he should be on the west. Followers, Dean Cox, the best ruck in the game, changed the game better than any of their other rucks here. Can actually rack up the pillar through the midfield, which he's going to have to do because Swanee and Black are just going to be handed off to him. So you got Simon Black, premiership player, the best Brisbane Lions player. Fuck Voss. Who cares? Simon Black's where it's at. He's better to look at. He's clean. He's classy. He's consistent. And Dane Swan, so a guy that can just do it all. The magician, I don't have the heart to leave him out of my side. Dale Thomas, a late addition into the team. So check out all of his betting ads and the buffet that he's eating at because there's plenty of meat on the bone with the Thomas selection.
He got paid to pick him in this video.
Yeah, it was the last minute call up. That's the 20th, the 24th leg of my multi is Dale Thomas. Jono Brown, so centre half forward, leading up into the packs, mixing it up with Dunstall. So I've got pretty much the best spine in the game. Who cares about going elsewhere? Chris talks about kicking long. My strategy is to go straight up the middle where all my strength is. Fuck the sides is pretty much what
that's what she said.
Chris says. So Akamanis, the man that can do it all. Ablett Senior, he'll push up, he'll do things, he'll strap up those knees and do whatever he has to do. But he is going to be an absolute weapon down there with Surioli cleaning up all the smalls with Akamanis picking pockets because that's what Akamanis does. Interchange, I got Sam Mitchell, Koutafidis, so the most underrated pick. Swizz's companion, Koutafidis here. Alan Didak for a bit of X Factor. Liberatore for a bit of the grunt the tackle to mix it up with Selwood and to absolutely niggle any other midfielder that they have there. So Lee Matthews, the best coach of the last 30 years, and McVeigh, someone who's a bit versatile on my subline. George.
Okay, we'll start down back. My keys are Lake McGovern and Stephen May. Probably the weakest link of my team, but they're all multiple All-Australians, so not too bad. They can all play key or interceptor or wherever. On my flanks, McLeod and Enright. Are there better flankers you could possibly pick from? Probably not. And Ben Hart is a lockdown, one of the best in that position as well. My centre line, I've got Bont in the middle, and then on the wings, inside, outside mids, in Cousins and Zach Merritt. Bit of very good ball use from Merritt so they can feed him. My followers, Gawn tapping down to explosive midfielders in Judd and Dangerfield. I don't think any of your team's winning any clearances against that. Maybe Abler, I'll give you that. That's about it.
Thank you.
Forwards, I've got Buddy Franklin and Richo. Pretty happy with that, especially Buddy. On the flanks, I've got Hurd and Petrarca. They can roll into the midfield and be damaging up forward, setting up goals. And then I've got a lot of X factor with Robbie Gray and Stevie J. They'll be fighting over who wants to get the ball in the fourth quarter and win the game for us. So that'll be good. Interchange, Fife on the interchange. Tony Modra is the third key. Paul Roos as well can slot into defense. And I need a bit more pace in the forward line. So we have Charlie Cameron there. Coach Kevin Sheedy, one of the greats, and sub Clayton Oliver.
And there we have it. Let us know who is winning the scenario there. Some all very good teams. It's hard over that last sort of 30-year period. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you want us to actually redraw this and run, say, AFL players over the last 10 years, if you want a bit of a modern take on the best players over the last 10 years, if you are interested in that. But that is us, gentlemen. Final thoughts, Swizz, Chris?
Get in touch with me if you want to, like, potentially even do a cricket one or a wrestling one or something like that, because we've got a lot of off season, so we're more than happy to do some draft stuff. And I know, Chris, you don't. You can run your own little basketball one, Chris, but yeah.
He's football,
Chris. For us real people.
LeBron James.
Yeah, but no, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us, Geordie. But been wanting to do this for a little while, and it's amazing how good these teams look. So if you know any of these players, tag them in. Find out
cricket,
find what they think.
Cricket would have to be, what is it, Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, and then Andy Bickle?
Yeah.
It's pretty much what
it's perfect stuff. Who's Andy Bickle?
Yeah, Chris. Get out of town, Chris. George, final thoughts?
No, this was fun. Just so many good players over the years that there's still a lot of players on the board we could take. But yeah, I'm happy with what I've selected, and good to reminisce a bit. It's just, I was thinking before, imagine if these teams could actually play against each other in their primes. It'd be the best TV you could ask for, best 3 hours ever. So, thanks for having me, boys. Pleasure.
Thanks.
Appreciated.
I will say, like,
watching them in their prime is crazy.
Sorry, buddy. No, it's fine. I just cut you off. It's all good.
That's okay. I was going to say, if you could watch them in their prime, again, make sure you are thinking about these people in their prime when you consider who's going to win that competition. Chris?
Disagree. Don't think about them in their prime. Think about their entire career. No, I'm just
Brent Harvey.
Yeah, exactly. Think about the 430 games or whatever. No, what I will say,
Boomer could still come out and win his own ball against these guys.
Well, he's apparently dominating like the league that he's playing in right now. Like, he's completely killing it. No, look, I think that on a weekend that we don't have footy, and right now the recording is taking place on the pre-finals weekend, it's good to reminisce players that have gone past. And there's a lot of players here that are still playing and have like Bontempelli, for example. Like, he should be playing finals. And this is just, it's actually like hurtful that I don't see Bont in finals this year, when he's just absolutely, he probably will win the Brownlow and he hasn't even made the 8. That is just,
he couldn't do more to help the Dogs get into finals. Like, he was everywhere. He was the guy running back to spoil, to try and get in the way in defense, copping knees in the back. Like, literally, he was the one running both ways so hard because he wanted it and just got let down super hard.
I love.
Speaking about let down super hard, what about Adelaide and the score review system, George?
Can't bring that.
Yeah. Well, I won't forget this. Not for 20 years.
Right in front of me.
Well, this is the second time they've been robbed, like in a game, like in a game that eliminates
this
the
year,
season, essentially.
Yeah.
So look, and yeah, this, like, honest. When I watched the review, because I didn't watch the game live, I looked at the score and went, "Oh shit, 1 point lost. That sucks." And then I found out what had happened. I was just like, if that was Collingwood, like, how, I don't know what in the room would be breaking.
Eddie Maguire.
Oh,
Eddie Maguire would have 10 lawyers behind him knocking on AFL House.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be raided like Trump, like raided the White House. It'd be like that.
Oh, they'd have Molotov cocktails in hand.
And this, look, obviously
the goal umpire would be like quarantined somewhere.
But what is
leave the country?
My question to the goal umpire is, what has he possibly seen? Like what? Because it doesn't.
It's a mistake.
It just,
I don't know.
Agreed. But like, what's he seen to make him think that it's hit the post? Like, what did he see that no one else saw?
Well, I believe, Chris, and I sent an email. When the ball spins, it changes direction, and he thought it was like a snicko where it's like hit something and moved, but it's just the ball moving itself, you know.
But the ball was moving like similar pattern the whole time. That's what I mean. Like it was just
like
going.
You do see the padding move, but that's like meters away because somebody's hands touched it.
Billsy.
It's
and
like,
this is like Dane Rampey Volume 2, right? Because when he climbed the post, that's the first thing I thought of. Is like, is Mills the reason why this happened? And are Sydney trained to do this? Are they trained to like hit posts and like do like alter something just in case something happens? Like, because that's not the first time. And I was like, oh
yeah, the post that way it'll register like something's hit the ball even though it hasn't.
Yeah, like
I think the umpire. He just kind of cracked under pressure, I think. Like, obviously, you review everything that's close, especially at that time. But I don't know, it's a bit like when you get to a brawl in footy or when you're watching the players have a brawl and they do something stupid. They just have like a little moment under massive pressure. Because, like, you have, 50,000 people screaming at the same time. And, just cracked a little bit. But I guess it falls on the AFL somewhat. But
yeah. Agreed.
Oh, well.
They're changing things, so hopefully next year it doesn't happen. So
they've got the chip in the AFL ball.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we've got all these things in the work and we've been doing a 3-year trial on these microchips that we're trying to now do testing with. I'm like, well, that's all well and truly good, but they're trying to kind of save their hide on like, hey, look at all this great stuff that we're trying to do to stop these things from happening that keep on happening.
Is what it is, mate.
Right, that's it.
All right, we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, George, for coming up on the line. And this, I'm not sure how I went. Let's go and reflect. I'm sure the audience will let us know and tear us a new one. If we forgot someone, hey, don't take it personally. All right. I got Sam. Look, and Essendon supporters, I got Sam Mitchell. So just take it easy. All right, take it easy.
I was so the Fremantle like back pocket play that I was going to take that I didn't end up taking because the way that it all worked out. Was Jimmy Clement. I think that he's still one of the greatest, like small, medium defenders of all time, and a great interceptor as well. So
Nathan Brown kicked 5 goals on him in 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, Nathan Brown broke his leg. All right, and
actually he did it like 2 games before that. Just dominant. Just took Jimmy to the cleaners.
It was one time.
Should we run through a quick little couple of honorable mentions? So Chris Johnson for me in defense. Shannon Hearn I thought could have been lucky too. Luke McFarland I had with Darcy Moore as some options there. I don't know if anyone had Derek Kickett, Main Waring. So Brand you've already spoken about.
Waring before.
Hurley was another one for me. I thought was quite underrated at a key post. Adam Simpson, even on the wing. Joe Watson.
I looked at McKenna, Woosha, the West Coast back in the day. Like that whole Brisbane team, Martin Pike, Ashcroft, Power, Darryl White. They just had so many stars through that side. And even the Cats, like I mentioned some of them before. So it's always hard to, split eras. And even you had those couple teams Port had a good run there. St Kilda had a lot of great players. Like they've had a lot, and they've had moments where they've been successful. They just haven't saluted. So that's where your Nathan Burks come into it, and we even back in the day, Stewie Lowe as a half forward, Jared Roughhead from the Hawks too, superstar player. We could go. There's so many we could mention.
A lot of key forwards.
There's quite a lot.
Really is.
Fev Hall.
Yeah.
Treadray. That's just 4.
Yeah, I thought Michael O'Loughlin was also probably a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
Paul Kelly as well from the Swans. I actually had a bit of rap.
He was
Paul
actually
Kelly.
on my list.
Yeah, same.
But I just had too many of those sort of inside full midfielders.
Paul Williams was on my list as well. Luke Bruce. I don't know if you guys.
That's fair. Yeah.
And Philip Matera, I think is really big miss, by the way. I think that like no one really captured how good he was as a small forward.
If I hadn't if you'd taken one of my ones, I was taking Phil Matura.
Yeah,
because
I kind of
Jetson
regret
Mills.
not picking up Leon Davis as well, to be honest, boys.
Yeah, I mean,
not as good as Phil Matura.
I think Charlie Cameron has him
in-
by a long way.
Mm.
Like if I'm talking about like speedy, like small forwards that like impact games, I personally I think Charlie Cameron is just lights ahead. But like, you know, and look, Leon Davis isn't that far behind the pecking order. He's a fantastic player, and I love him as a Collingwood fan.
That's the sort of thing. If there was 6 or 8 of us, it's some of these players all of a sudden easy.
even
and you know what? If we have 6 or 8 of us doing this, the team's still awesome. Just not as epic as our teams are at the moment, but there's still another one. North Melbourne, Corey McKernan from another ruck forward. Should have won a Brownlow. Chris Grant.
Yeah, we didn't really do the sort of forward rucks. I mean, Lee Brown, who invented the Lee Brown role, you know.
100%.
We've even got the coaches as well, like Adam Simpson, Brett Ratton, Simon Goodwin were all very, very handy as well in their time. So the depth side of it. Anyway, let us know if we've missed anyone else from there. Anyone that we've just read out. Let us know if you're really upset they didn't make one of these 4 teams. Again, it's hard with 4. I was actually expecting it to get real slim pickings, and I'm probably a little bit upset I went into the positions I went as early as I did for some of them. But look, that is where it is.
Saturday night, but
oh, mate, I like diving into early pockets. But that's it from us. Let us know what you think. Talk to you soon. Obviously, go hit up George as well on his socials. Back to the start of the podcast, SC Insider 100. Find us as well. And that's it. It's a long podcast. It's a long season. And we'll catch you soon. All right,
Cheers, guys.
bye.